All right, hi, hello, to anyone watching this. You're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role-playing games online. You can find them at gauntlet-rpg.com. You can check the links down below. You'll see all the stuff they do: blogs, forums, podcasts, a monthly zine where they put out supplements to existing games and existing games itself. If you check out the big thing that's coming up is their online convention, Gauntlet Con, which is on the let me look at the calendar, the 24th to the 27th. It's a 4-day convention of a bajillion and a half games. I think that's the count. Yeah, a bajillion and a half. Don't quote me on that. Check that out. Lots of cool stuff, cool guests, panels. I saw, if to shout out one very specific panel, I saw there's one on how to lay out a one-page RPG, which looks really cool. I think I'm running a game during that time. I hope it's recorded. But yeah, that looks really cool. So there's stuff like that at Gauntlet Con. But the main thing that Gauntlet has is the Hangouts calendar through which this game is arranged. We are 4 sessions is the fifth one. 4 sessions into our Masks quarterly. Masks is a powered by the apocalypse role-playing game about teenage superheroes. So all the fun and nonsense of superhero comics with all the drama and angst of trying to figure out who you are. So like imagine high school, but your teacher is a crazed AI from the future who's come back to try and change the timeline and is now your science teacher. Because that's the version of Mask we're playing. We're playing a superhero school playset, Phoenix Academy, written by uh you know what? I know it's written by someone and I've forgotten their name and I feel so bad. Mask is written by Brendan Conway, published by Magpie Games. Shout that out. Um, Meanwhile, Phoenix Academy is in the Unbound supplement, which is separate from Mass, written by Rob Wyland. There we go. Shout outs to Rob. Um, and there'll be a link below for all that to check all that stuff out. So, last time we were here, well, we spent 4 months building up to and fighting a snap student council election in Prospect Academy, which is the name of the setting we're in, the 11th best superhero school in the world. Again, as I mentioned, there's actually only 4 superhero schools. There's like the rest are colleges with like modules and sub modules on how to be a superhero, and Prospect Academy isn't better than any of them. 11th best, which is still, it's better than 12th best. There was a student council election, and some tears were shed, some lessons learned, some friends made, some enemies made, some identities reshuffled, some people trying to make friends with other friends. Well, it kind of ended on not the best note, let's say. But we're moving on from that. But to find out which characters are moving on from all that, let's introduce each other. Let's go from left to right on the character keeper. Sorry, Ryan, you picked the red column. You've seen it was on the leftist column. The leftist, that is a word. All right, so Ryan, introduce yourself, pronouns, and your character, and yeah, the main pitch for them. So take it away.
So, as you may have guessed, my name is Ryan. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Mary Landry uses she or they, but in her superhero, I guess for now, superhero self image, it's just they. Mary is from the 80s, and she is here for mysterious reasons by mysterious persons. We may or may not ever figure out why she is here exactly. Uh, which is awkward because her future self is also here and is a big deal supervillain named Silhouette, who at one point took over Parliament by turning into a goo monster. It's intense. Also, her superhero, her supervillain future self apparently went to this school, and that's super awkward. She's a shapeshifter. We haven't seen much of that yet, and she just lost the presidential race and now is blaming herself for it terribly. It might be the first step in her path to supervillainy. Yep.
Yeah, poor Mary. Poor Mary. We tried to stack the deck so much in your favor, but it just didn't. Oh well. We'll see how Mary's doing that. Up next, Sabine, tell us about yourself and your character, cool things about them, which again is hard because your character is very cool.
Okay, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I am playing the Serenade of Thorns. They use they, them pronouns. The Serenade of Thorns was given an implant by an evil cult that wanted to bring peace and harmony to people, if they liked it or not, by means of murdering everybody who stood in their way, and that's why they needed weapons. So they made this. So they made the Serenade. So put the Serenade implant into a defenseless baby. And now the Serenade has left them because they were too evil for their taste. And then joined up some American superheroes, fought some aliens, and then was told they needed an education and should go to school. And that's where they are now. They are still not entirely sure of the point of the whole exercise, but they... Yeah, well, it is interesting, and the whole election thing was interesting. They would have hoped that Mary would be happier with the outcome, but they are not totally devastated or anything like that, because nobody even died. Right, so it's not like it's the worst thing that could have happened. Recently, I changed playbooks from, oh my god, there's the kitty. I'm sorry. I changed playbooks from the weapon to the transformed, and I think what that looks like is that at one point after the election, Serenade was alone and fiddling around with the implant, which is somewhere in their body, and they had a sort of a breakthrough because that implant had a kill code implanted that might be used to just switch the Serenade's impossible fighting skills on, and the Serenade managed to turn that kill code off. But the implant kind of liked that a lot and started to take over the Serenade's human body a bit more. So you can see more metallic traces in their skin, in their hair. The whole tattoo on their shoulder has been taken over by sort of metallic strands and things like that. They don't really look all that human. Also, they are accompanied by this weird ambient sound noise in the back. Always when they are near, you can kind of, you have to listen to it or for it, but it's always there as a kind of low hum.
Perils with having to interact with a weird imaginary fae from another dimension. To understand that reference, dear viewers, check out the previous 2 sessions of this. Oh, don't worry, David, you'll meet Princess Hollyhock probably next week. Anyway, yeah, prepare yourself. Up next, someone who's also made quite a journey since we last saw them. Well, when we first saw them. Ludo, tell us about yourself and your character.
Okay, I'm Ludo. I go by any pronouns, and I'll be playing Xervenia Severnova Dread, known as Kasey Dread, and they are known for their public alias as a superhero as a regicide, and as her secret identity as errant. They have a complicated history because they went from someone escaping the clutches of her mother, the terrible villain, the Dread Queen, trying to make a name for herself fighting against an alien invasion, and initially accoladed as a hero. She found that there was something that was even more terrifying than aliens and her mom, high school. She has been having a hard time finding herself, finding what she is, and she tried really hard to fit in. And last year, she thought that she made some progress, but it seems that now the next year that she's back at step zero, and she is no longer Kasey Dread. She's just the Dread Queen's clone daughter, and in a desire to escape that, she has taken the mantle of errant, and she has been able to act as a superhero while neglecting the responsibilities that she has to the school, to her job, and to the enclave that she worked with. And now back at school, trying to get this balance and trying to figure out the different ways that the mask allows her to express herself, and finding that she likes being the mask more than she likes being Kasey, and this worries her because this is not healthy, but it feels so good.
Well, we'll see what feels really good for her. But yeah, we're introducing. We'll move on from Aaron Kasey to our newcomer. Well, our player's not a newcomer to this setting, but this character's not even. We've seen him before. But David, tell us about yourself and our newest student coming into Prospect Academy.
Yes, certainly. Hi, my name is David. I use he/him pronouns, and this evening, this evening I will be playing Zero G or Haruki Goto if he goes by his given name, which is rare. He was so in Mask's terms, he is in the reformed playbook, which is to say he's a former villain turned hero. Zero G appeared in a previous run of the Suits, where he's essentially a street thug working for the Spider, a mobster, I guess, gang boss. I'm losing the word I meant to say. Running crime in a section of the city. He met and ended up going on a date with a superhero by the name of Spectre. And following this, he has decided to change sides, and is currently attending Prospect Academy as an attempt to both legitimize himself and to kind of get off the streets and try and escape notice for a bit.
Cool. Let's actually, before we spend more time on Zero G, because we're gonna set up like backstory, influences, relationships, and ask some questions about your NPC mates. Let's talk about safety first. Let's lay out what safety tools we have to use for today's game. First up, we've got lines and veils. Direct folks to check them, and if they need to be updated. It's a living document. Feel free to update them anytime, and then message me. Basically, lines are things that won't be crossed, just won't show up in a fiction at all. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not going to focus on it. Like fast forward, or it happens off screen. Like we're not going to linger on it, so to speak. We're also using the X card for this game. Basically, if we do roll into a scene where folks feel uncomfortable for any reason, and any reason is perfectly fine. It could be a name or a situation that's on screen. You say you want to X that either on the chat or on the Roll for a Party or on the video. Like just make an X symbol. Like that, because we have tiny windows in StreamYard. So to make that'll be weird. I might ask some questions on what's being X-carded. Yeah, there we go. Well, not that. We're not okay. All right, there we go. Okay, yeah. Basically, yeah. If we do roll into a scene where folks are uncomfortable, feel free to make that symbol. I might ask some questions on what's being X-carded to know exactly what we're avoiding, but no one gets to question if it's played. If it's played, it happens, and we'll roll back and try something else. And finally, we have an open door policy. If folks feel like they need to step away from the table at any point, whether because there's an emergency, they're more comfortable than they thought, or they need to step away for 5 minutes, like I'm probably gonna have to do that in like half an hour to let my mom in because she forgot her keys. Word of warning. We'll pause the game and we'll accommodate folks who need to go. Yeah, y'all making your symbols. My friend once did this. Hashtag. Yeah, that's because he's ridiculous. Shout outs to Kevin Kelly. Anyway, all right. So let's go back to 0G. Let's go through like your backstory questions. So to flesh them out a bit more. And yeah. So who mentored you in super villainy? You said you're a street thug, but like how did you end up working for the Spider?
Yeah, that's so I was wondering if there was someone that's kind of already involved in the plot that might make sense for that. So I'm open to suggestions there.
Give me a moment while I look up the list of NPCs that's appeared in this setting so far. There's been a lot. Yeah, there weren't really. The only other mobster character in that worked for the Spider, I killed him off. Let's see. There is Enigma, but nah, he's not a mobster type. He's a thespian. He wouldn't be down for that sort of thing. Delilah Marston works in the school. She's been ex-mob for a while. I don't think she brought in 0G. Someone suggested Silhouette. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. She doesn't seem the type to work for the mob. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm looking through this. All right, lots of agents. The thing is, we spend a lot of time working for Aegis that didn't have much mobsters types. You don't think it's a Spider directly? No, she probably just saw you as like a grunt.
No, I mean it could well be the Spider. That would certainly make sense. That would probably have been my like default go-to answer.
I think just to tie it in with everyone, I think people are suggesting Silhouette, who is Silhouette. Fuck off, Ryan. Yeah, it probably would be the Spider. That makes sense. Silhouette strikes me as a solitary villain. Maybe they did contract work for the Spider. I don't know.
I am down for Silhouette to be involved somehow, but yeah, I get the feeling that Silhouette is more, no one understands me. I must eat Parliament.
Maybe she did mentor 0G at the start. Kind of like, I'm assuming probably, someone who had like developed gravity powers and just like needed someone to guide them. And here's someone who thinks they have complete control over their own body, and almost kind of, well, okay, I'm saying a lot of stuff, shape-shifting, and maybe they saw you as kind of like a project of some sorts. If you think you're fine with that.
Yeah, no, that could be cool.
Okay.
Or maybe she needed your powers for some project of hers, and that's why she mentored you.
Yeah, that's sort of thing I was thinking. Maybe to help out with a job of some variety.
Yeah, and that kind of, I think maybe that started you with like working for folks like the Spider. That's how you ended up working for the Spider.
Yeah, sounds
Quick
good.
correction though, Silhouette uses they exclusively.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they. All right. All right. So who first showed you that you could do good then?
So this is where we go back to kind of recapping the story as far. But yeah, I think basically it was working with Spectre on sort of uncovering the suits who were operating out Vegas and targeting people on both sides of the law. And I think that was when he kind of realized that he could use his powers for something more than just turning a quick buck.
Makes sense. That makes sense. It must have been quite a date. So back then, when you were a villain, what was your main goal? What did you want to do?
It was pretty much purely to make money, to escape the poverty of Shoreline City. Not really any particular ideological motivation, I don't think, to what he did, other than the fact that they figured he had these powers, might as well use them to make himself comfortable.
Makes sense. I think that fits without the scene of Zero G. So we know Spectre kind of showed you what's it like to do good, but what was exactly that caused you to switch sides?
Yeah, so I think sorry. So I think it was partly just the conscience thing. It kind of realized that he's sort of been squandering his powers in some ways, that sort of aspect. But also I think the whole situation with Spectre and the Spider, kind of, it got a bit complicated, I think. So I think as well it was partly just a pragmatic thing of so it's not a pragmatic thing, but he couldn't really half-ass being in the mob and also working against them, so he kind of had to jump.
Yeah, it's classic, complicated relationship. The dude you're seeing is a superhero, his mom's a supervillain. Well, no, I'm not supervillain, an evil mobster. It just happens. I'm wondering though. I'm curious. Are you still dating Spectre?
I think officially no. I think Spectre has, gone off to do some vigilante action, and that's kind of put a bit of a. There's definitely been the I can't get you involved in this speech and all that.
Of course, of course there is. Oh God, Spectre, you dolt. Yeah, that's exactly what he would do. We're probably not gonna answer why do you care about the team, because I imagine you're all kind of in the student body. I imagine Zero G's probably was around in the background, so to speak, because I don't have to deal with how do you come in, a new transfer student, however your Japanese animes go. Yeah, so we'll skip that question for now, and also where the team first came together, because again, you're going to be the same student body, so it'll be fine for now. I do want to know about your friends on the other side.
Certainly.
So tell me about it.
So where? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the three sort of contacts on the other side of the law that I've taken. I have Finch. I think that she is a. I think probably like a minor. Again, a minor powered individual. I think she's got something, useful, but not powerful. I think she kind of has minor phasing through physical objects type powers. She's essentially a good thief, and I think works as a offense as well. And I think that's probably kind of how I got to know her. We possibly worked some jobs together at some point. Mr. Kane is a mysterious figure who, kind of always is dressed in a suit, walking obviously with a walking cane. He has he deals in cosmic artifacts. Very much, I think, in his case, he's on the trading side of things. I think that he, but I think he has also been. I think he's also been helping to train me a bit as well. He seems to have, knowledge of weird alien stuff in general. And finally, Lovelace is a I think they run a bar sort of downtown, and they're your kind of information broker, gossip repository type. And I think, I think, to be honest, I possibly just kind of get on with them more than anything else. I don't think we really have not exactly a business relationship between the two of us. I think we'll help each other out from time to time. But yeah,
cool. All right, they seem really cool. Let's see if they're gonna barge into your life with their problems, which is fun times when they do that. All right, let's go through relationships of like
sure
3
thing.
years. Yeah. So, what relationships do you got?
Yes. So I have. I've earned the trust of blank, and I follow their example of what a hero should be. And I did something terrible to blank once. I hope they can forgive me one day. I think I'd quite like, for the first one, forever earn the trust of someone and follow their example. I'd actually quite like that to be Serenade, if that's okay, as we have kind of interacted before, sort of thing. So
yeah, we were on the same side, even if we did not. But I've heard your name at least.
Yeah.
So maybe we've spoken in the hallway or something like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool. And yeah, for the second one, I am happy to take a volunteer for that if someone wants to have been wronged by me in the past.
I guess there is a potential link there between you and Mary because of silhouette. Because then you have a different relationship with adult and with teen one.
Yeah, I was thinking it doesn't make a ton of sense to have wronged Mary because Mary hasn't been here for very long. But if you wronged future Mary somehow, that is totally legit.
Yeah, that could be cool actually. Yeah, if I kind of have some guilt that I still feel towards past Mary, despite the fact that it was future Mary that I wronged. Yeah, that could be cool.
I'm into it. I'm not sure what you did to future Mary, but neither is Mary. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're muted, Leandro.
Yeah, I just realized that. I was just saying, like, yeah, don't have any ideas right now. We can play to find out. Probably, I'm imagining maybe some sort of like you abandoned them, sort of.
Yeah, possibly double cross them on a job, something like that.
Yeah, and that's why they have to work alone now. You can't even trust the kids.
The one time they took on a sidekick. Can't trust these kids. Yeah, seems like that's cool. And last thing is, I'm gonna say we'll do influence, and then maybe we'll do influence, and then we'll probably go into stuff. There's some, because some playbooks have changed. I realized there's maybe some changes, relationships or whatnot. But in the interest of time, yeah, we'll do influence now, and in the middle of influence, I might make up my mind on looking into that. But yeah, so how's reformed influence work, David? Oh, here it is. Do you openly talk about your days as a villain? If so, give each team member influence over you. If not, just give influence to the one teammate whose example you most closely follow.
That's I think I probably don't necessarily hide the fact that I used to be a villain from people, but I don't think it's something I'm particularly forthcoming about. And I think, I will give that. So I'll go for the second option, and I will give Serenade influence.
Nice. Actually, let's round back to everyone else and look at how they're influenced to see if we can give 0G some influence on some folk. Let's see. I'm looking back to Innocent. You already gave your 2 influence to Serenade and to Kasey. Serenade, you're not
careful about whose guidance I follow, and one of these people is clearly a bad egg, or has been.
One of these people. Yeah, sure. Okay. For Serenades, I mean, we're not gonna get rid of the influence you already have, or the influence on you, because you're an existing character. But for the transformed, is like you try not to care what other people think, even if you can't shut everyone out. Give influence to one teammate. Do you want to give that to 0G, or are you fine just staying right now where you are?
I mean, I don't know if I care what 0G especially thinks about my transformation. Really, I mean, I would say that maybe I think that what Mary thinks is important to me, but or Kasey.
Okay.
But I mean,
That's
we
fair.
don't have a very close relationship. I mean, I like him, I guess. He fought the suits, so yeah, but
That's fair. That makes sense. For you, Errant, should get used to that. Let's see, you give two of your teammates influence according to this Janus thing. Would you give 0G influence? I guess is my
That's the thing.
question.
The question is, they seem to have this superhero thing figured out. Do they?
Not 0G, no. No.
Yeah. But I think I gave to Mary, because I think Image. No. Image has influence on me. Okay.
Yeah, she already has. Cool. Man, there's a lot of people who have influence on things. Okay, all right. So I guess it makes sense for 0G to start at the bottom, influence-wise. All right. So I think what we're gonna do is, because even though, actually, no, we'll press on. Let's start. So I think I'm gonna like, before we get into this, I'll just say I'll probably like trigger a mechanic from this Phoenix Academy playset that we kind of did last session, but we didn't go into the full thing of it because it's kind of weirdly hacked into this debate thing. So I'll say it's been a week since the student council election has wrapped up. We all have elected a new student council president. The glamorous, poised, always on future superhero of America, Diamond Dust. Oh yeah, we did leave in some cliffhangers. We left one person at cliffhanger. We'll come into that in a minute. I'll ask how that went. But yeah, future superhero of America, Diamond Dust, so perfectly poised that not even turning into a dragon can get her down. That did happen for David's sake. She did turn into a dragon. Again, you'll meet Princess Hollyhock next week. Oh wait, no, you won't. What do you? Next month. Sorry, you won't meet her till next month. I'm sorry, David. Yeah. So it's been a week. It's now October. So when I kind of come into each, like when we zoom into each character, so to speak, say in the language of a comic book, when we turn open, each character is going to have like a page to them, and they're like panels on like what they're thinking, what they're doing. I want to know like on what what class do we see? What class do we see them in at this opening? And like, what are their thoughts and demeanors, and what have they been doing? And their thoughts and demeanors in the week since the election. And if anyone has an idea, feel free to jump in. And feel free if you don't think that they should just have the regular classes like English or math. Want to come up with a superhero elective, like, I don't know, okay, I guess physical training or something like that, or powers testing, or superhero ethics. uh, Feel free to do so. There's probably, like, I'm imagining this for superhero school, there's like a lot of weird electives.
Because you started with that, I think we see Mary sitting again towards the back, with her baseball cap on, even though you're not supposed to wear that in classes, taking notes in the "So you're not from this decade" class for time displaced students as the sort of intro survey thing.
Yeah, there's I'm imagining, yeah, there are people from all over time and space. Here, there's probably like a harbinger or two who's like who's looking to avert their disastrous timeline. You see someone in what looks like a Borg costume up front, which is very confusing. And yeah, you have folks who are like, yeah, from the 20s or whatnot, wearing, I guess, the teenager version of like wearing a fedora. I don't know what 20s people wear. That sort of thing. Yeah, so what's Mary's kind of demeanor in the week since?
Subdued. She doesn't have that, kind of larger than life, full of glitter thing going for her anymore. She seems lightly crushed. Because her friends all tried so hard and she let them down at the last moment.
Well, that's sad. This is the point where I'm going to introduce like one of the Phoenix Academy playsets, playset stuff. I don't know what that is. Maybe I should check, but there are other people in this house. So if all right, you know what? Let's take a break. We're here for an hour. Let's come back in 5 while I deal with whatever the hell that is. So be back in 5. See if I'll be there in a bit. something that's missed with his recordings is that the chat is always a fucking riot. Great fake claps. Fuck off. Three cave persons, an uplifted harbinger, which is I don't know, probably like a goose person. Yeah. Oh, there's a clique in this school that is just like animal teenagers, animal people, teenagers. They're called the Kingdom. We've not yet met any of them, but they seem really cool. I'm declaring that their like club president is an elephant girl. Just declaring it right now. They're an elephant girl. Three cave persons. All right, cool. Sorry about that. The alarm. As you can see, I'm still alive. I'm still, or at least we've not had to stop this because we have had to evacuate. Thankfully. Oh, sorry. Yes, yeah. The goose from the harbinger clique in your class, Mary, is the goose. The harbinger from the animal people clique in your time displaced class is a goose person. We've decided this. I'm sorry. What was I saying before the alarm so rudely interrupted us? Is that this I'm kind of introducing like one of the primary schoolwork mechanic, I guess, for Phoenix Academy. We kind of play with it with a debate, but this time we're just going to do it purely. So I did not just ask you to describe a class willy-nilly. You're going to get homework from each of these classes. I don't worry. It's just a dice roll. It'll be fine. Don't worry. Well, kind of. There are some consequences. All right. So I think for Mary, I think it's what the instructor. Let me see. Let's see who the instructor be. I think because it's about acclimating to a current time. It's probably the guidance counselor. It's Prism again. For those who don't know, Prism is a superhero who can split into 7 different versions of her that each are arranged with their own emotion, and they can shoot out that emotion in a beam. She is her own Planeteers, basically. While her combined self is Captain Planet. I mean, which Prism is it, Mary, that's teaching this class?
No, we've seen happy and angry Prism. I don't know. I want it to be Happy Prism because that seems fun for a time displaced class, like the exceptionally chipper intro video.
Nice. So I think Happy Prism, whose hair is a sort of corn yellow, cornflower yellow. Is that yellow? I'm not sure. Yellow, basically. The yellow type that's found in corn. I think their assignment for you is saying she's very happy. She's very ebullient, as she's saying like, well, the better to get used to being trapped in a different time period is to share each other's experiences with having to deal with this current time zone. So everyone partner up, and I'd like a report on your partner's time period and where they came from. And I think, so I'm going to read out the move. At the start of the session, the time has come to prove your worthiness, as in you get homework. The GM tells you what's the homework in the horizon, and they'll choose a label to reflect that test or project assigned by the faculty to you, Mary. This one is an outreach sort of project where it says here it's outreach to learn the value of normal citizens, but this is more like learning the value of your fellow time displaced people. So this is actually a savior. Mundane is actually saved for like group projects. It's about learning how to connect to people. But for Mary, it's savior. So who are you partnered with? Is it one of the cave people? because that's just good luck figuring that out. The goose harbinger. Oh, God.
From the reality when geese have taken over all of us and exterminated mankind.
Who? And it's the one rebel geese who's come back to avert that horrible timeline.
Yes. No, probably Harbinger. Hell, fine. Maybe it is the Goose Harbinger from the year like 2090 or something, here to save the day.
I mean, I do have an idea for an harbinger if you want. It doesn't have to be the
Yes,
geese because
your
if
idea.
it's a goose one, we'll never take this seriously. They can
True,
still exist,
true.
but like, I think it's actually the Borg kid. The kid dressed like a Borg. Until you see that, like, yeah, no, they're actually their name's not Goose. They do you can see that, yeah, they look like they have like boxes kind of like welded upon them. We find the exact kind of picture of a Borg. So imagine this, but as a kid. Yeah, imagine that as a kid. Borg. Yeah, and yeah, right. And I think when you kind of like introduce each other, they kind of give you like this penetrating look. Pure Borg. As if like they're scanning you. They're not making introductions.
Harry's gonna wave and wait and be like, "Hi, I'm Mary," and go for a handshake because maybe that's appropriate in the future. And then sort of realize that maybe that's not appropriate in the future and take her hand back. Like, oh, sorry, that might be very rude. I don't actually know.
Mary. You're very colorful, Mary.
I try.
And they kind of nod. My name is Paradox 4. Mary. And that's it. That's all they say. They're just going to stand there awkwardly.
Mary is also sitting there awkwardly, trying so hard not to make a joke about how time travelers are supposed to avoid paradoxes, because it's mean to make jokes about people's names when you've just met them.
Yeah, isn't Mary deliberately trying to induce a paradox so she doesn't turn into her evil self?
Yes. That's not inducing a paradox. That's like Back to the Future style, fixing the timeline. It's clearly broken, and she will fix it.
Okay. I think there's a moment where they just kind of like blink slowly, and then they say, "You are the one running for president, right?"
Yeah. But that's over now.
I think they nod and they kind of look away from you, and then you realize they're looking dramatically at something, and well, it's just a wall. They're just looking dramatically at the wall, and they say like, "It's immaterial anyway. In centuries to come, all color will be blotted out from the world as the gray sun comes to swallow everything within the spectrum."
Mary turns to look at what he's looking at, or what they're looking at.
It's the wall. It's a wall.
Yeah, sees a wall and just starts taking notes for the report.
All right, cut away from there. Ah, God, no. Okay, all right. I should be honestly be clear. This guy is a reference to a harbinger that's shown up in this mask in this setting. This is me being self-indulgent. No one here has met this guy. All right, let's move on to the next person who's in class and thinking about life.
I think that could be me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in class, I'm thinking about life and things and my implant, and I'm very deliberately writing some sort of formula or musical note down. And then I get interrupted by Mr. Wyatt, who inquires after the socio-economic relevance of the Berlin Wall. And he has totally caught me out. I have no idea what I will tell him that I recognize that Berlin is a city and that walls are good, which of course is, well, I don't know what he will do. That's up to you.
I think there's a moment where you say that, I think he's really just still not gotten the full measure of Serenade, so it is a bit dumbstruck with that. But I think another student kind of leaps in to like answer the question that was posed to you with more grace than like saying walls are good. I don't think Serenade realizes in his climate saying that is a bit weird.
Yeah, I think that's they are fishing for an answer because they have been asked, and that's what you are supposed to do when you are asked. Give an answer. So,
I think there's a moment where like he sighs when you like an answer, and someone else can like answers for you. Let's look at our list of NPCs. Oh, sorry. I'm hearing here's where I pause. I'm hearing a doorbell. So my mom come in. I'll be back in 2 minutes this time.
Ooh.
Damn you. I'll be back in 2. Yeah, I think. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna bleep back in. I think the person who answers for you is actually he's a bird. They're a bird person. The person who answers for you, and their answer is basically like, well, from a tactical perspective, the Berlin Wall would have been inefficient because for more advanced civilizations, like and I think they say like for if one is to invade a city, one probably would have erected like super liminal sky trenches, like what we have back with the Tangi, and then they kind of realize like, and they start explaining that like walls are only good for down there. When you have like a massive air force that can travel through space, like what the Tangi did, walls are kind of meaningless. And again, Mr. White is dumbfounded and very confused. Yeah, in conclusion, bird over wall. So I think he's just gonna okay, he's just gonna let the Tangi kid talk. And I think the homework that Serenade gets is probably he wants probably like 2.5 pages on the question he posed you. What is the socio-political ramifications of the Berlin Wall? And so that's going to be a test of your superior.
Yeah. I mean, this has to be written down somewhere. I can find that out. Socio-economical. I should find out what socio-economical means before I go into the tactical evaluation of the wall.
damn it! This, for those who's not seeing this, viewers, that this chat is a riot and a half. So that's Serenade's home. So that's Serenade. What's Serenade's been thinking in the week since the student council election?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. What?
Yeah,
Serenade?
Yeah, been doing / thinking
Oh.
since the election in the week since.
Yeah, I think they fiddled around with their implant mostly because they finally had that connection where they could take out the kill code, and then things got a bit weird, and now they aren't entirely sure what is going to happen next. And also they wanted to talk to Kasey, but they couldn't find Kasey. Weird. Well, or Mary, or anyone. It was a weird week.
All right. So it's all right. So I actually need to write down these homework assignments before I forget them. Let's see. Mary rolls with Savior. Serenade rolls with Superior. What about our other two? What classes are they doing at the moment?
I kind of have an idea, but do you mind if I roll my time passes to see the framing?
Yeah. Go ahead. Gonna try. I was gonna get you to do that at some point, but now would be a good time. And also, I'll also roll the time passes for 0G as well. After this, what'd you roll?
I got the good one, which I kind of went to the bad one for this one, unfortunately.
Too bad.
Too
bad.
So,
things are going well. You have an opportunity advantage.
Well. So we see for once Kasey is at class. So the class that she's at, it's at heterodox physics and crafts, which is basically how to apply things and weird science that does not exactly fit with we call conventional orthodox physics, and trying to use that and on the development of new machines. So anti-grav generation, antimatter, cold fusion, weird dimensional stuff, all this kind of stuff. And we see her with lab coat and glasses powering a laser through a stable wormhole alongside her lab mate.
Nice. That's absolutely being taught by the science teacher, who in this school is the angry killbot AI from the future named Leth. Yeah, who's your lab mate as you're working through this?
Do you have any idea, or can I bring someone, or maybe introduce someone?
You can introduce someone. It's perfectly fine. The one student scientist we introduced in Prospect Academy ended up forming a terrorist group. So
yeah, I'm trying to remember any of the nerds of the third session of the first run of Prospect Academy.
We introduced one of them, and they ended up forming a terrorist group.
I cannot remember anything from the others.
I mean, if you want to bring her back, if we're bringing back like former villains, there is like a clean slate program that's introduced in the place. That's kind of excuse for why reformed would be allowed in this setting, like folks who want to like come back. So if you want to bring her back,
actually, I think I want Princess Flower.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, to actually bring her around.
Yeah, okay. So Princess Flower, our only note about her is because I think she was part of a scene being painted at the other thing. Our only note is from some weird Irish leprechaun kingdom, so it fits. So what fits? Who wrote that? So I think you'd probably imagine like a fae to be like a bit serene, but she's actually a bit confused by the physics of what you're doing, because physics in her world makes a little bit, it's a different kind of physics, you know, because it's a different world. So she's kind of like, okay, all right, so okay, I would like to say it right now, Kasey, the physics involved in the creation of this wormhole are absolutely nonsensical. They seem to work on some completely different. It's a completely different set of laws here. How do you make sense of any of this?
Well, I don't. That's the key. I understood that it's also nonsensical here, but I realized that the pieces of the equipment, they make sense on whatever their world of origin is. So I just have to ask them how to get them to work, and they helped me through the process. I don't know any more than you do. I just try and listen to them.
So what you're telling me then, Casey, is all we're really doing is following a list of instructions, but are we actually learning why these instructions are what they are?
Flower. We don't do that in any of the other classes either.
Well, that seems terribly limiting. I'll be sure to mention that to my elders when I make my return trip home.
Yeah,
It
you
all
are
seems terribly restricted.
you're not here to learn anything. You are here to get an education.
Oh, a contradiction. I
Yeah,
see.
indeed. So how about we have some fun on the meantime? Let's see where we can open this portal to.
I think she raises an eyebrow. I'm gonna look. I have to look back and see what she's described because I don't trust myself. But yeah, I think she'll say like, well, I won't I won't say no to mischief. But what sort of mischief do you have planned, Casey?
Well, why don't we take a look to what the Ice Queen is doing?
I think that when you say like ice cream, she knows exactly what you're talking about, and she probably doesn't give a shit about diamond dust. Yeah. So, all right. So I think this is some sort of unleash your powers to fiddle with this machine, or
That's actually very fitting because of Casey's powers to speak with machines.
yeah. Sorry, I noticed Ryan, the sun is slowly swallowing you up. I don't know what's happening over there, but I commiserate with you.
Oh shit! I have a four.
Oh,
Oh
Jesus.
no!
Okay, here's what happens. So the two of you fiddle with the machine and surreptitiously so that your angry killbot AI teacher doesn't notice. She's taken the form of a floating head, but not like just a regular head, like one of those robots from the Matrix. So her hair is kind of like floating around with like multiple tentacles, and she's peering over at some schmucks device. And you, okay, so you open this portal using the device, and as soon as it opens, Casey, you're gonna get hit by fire.
Fire as in bullets or literal fire?
Oh, as in like a gout of flame.
Oh, she's organic again.
Comes out of the hole. Well, you don't know because it's just gonna smash against you, and you're gonna take a powerful blow.
I actually never played. Okay, so
Yep. Oh yeah, everyone. If you have conditions, clear them now because it's been a week. I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say just that. So 5.
Okay, that's good. You would
Yeah,
stand.
that's good.
That's good. So yeah, So you're gonna like. So it is gonna smash against you. So the most it'll do is like knock you off your feet. It was like a concussive force. And I think as soon as like that fire comes out, Princess Flower shuts down the machine. So you're gonna kind of like land on the floor, and then you'll see like the floating head of your professor, Leith, kind of like float up to you and just kind of like say / screech at you like, detected unauthorized temporal incursion into other dimension. What is this? What you're playing at, Casey Dread?
And Casey's like the ringing on her ear, and she's like, "What do you mean unauthorized? We were doing our task."
You
Tell
were
her,
given.
Flower.
You were given set coordinates to set dimensions that are stable and non-threatening. You have instead accessed another dimension that does not follow those parameters. You are being quite persnickety, Miss Dread.
I'm not from these dimensions. I determined the coordinates from my dimension of origin. It's out of instinct.
Did you employ the time-space visual scanner on the device to scout ahead before opening the portal?
I knew there was something I was forgetting about.
I think we'll probably, in the interest of time, we'll probably skip over what else she says. But essentially, your homework is to you're gonna get an extra set of using the device to observe more dimensions, and you have to write up a report on what you observe. This is gonna be with Freak, and I think Princess Flower kind of gives you a shrug, as if to say well, that was your idea. And finally, Zero.
I give her a thumbs up. Well, it was fun.
I think she gives you a regal wave, as if to say it was kind of fun. All right, Zero G, what class we find you in?
Yeah, so I think Zero's in English class. He's sat at the back of the room. He's leaning back in his chair at an improbable angle. He's got big motorbike boots on that he's got up on the desk, hands folded behind his head, and the book is just floating over his face.
And I think the English teacher is Majestic Magenta. She is a former sidekick of a hero named Infinite Violet. She has access to a purple dimension. And I think she is saying, in conclusion, Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens is a land of contradictions. And I think, you're reading. Is Zero G actually reading the book?
I do, mostly.
I think. So what's Zero G thinking? I didn't ask this, Kasey. I'll get back to Kasey when we do kind of we deal with that cliffhanger we left her on. But what's Zero G thinking? How's school been for him?
I think he's feeling kind of a bit. He probably is feeling a bit restless, I think. Not used to just working to other people's schedules necessarily. I don't think he necessarily dislikes being here as such, but I don't think he's kind of a bit just a bit kind of a bit bored, a bit directionless, I guess.
Okay. I think as you're kind of reading the book, you'll see words kind of form in front of you, in front of the book, kind of in the air. I've described this effect as the Tom Riddle writing on words effect from the second Harry Potter film. And I think the words kind of form are bored as well. And if you look around, you see there's a tiny emo girl who's kind of emulating what you're doing, angle and share an exact same angle and trying to look cool, but not looking at you. But you can see she's pointing a wand around at you and kind of slowly just making the words kind of appear in front of your face.
I will. I think I'll just kind of, take my hands out from behind my from behind my head and just give kind of an exaggerated shrug.
I I think they 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 weren't looking at you when you do the when you check, and then they realize that, oh wait, no, you don't have a magic wand, you can't send words back at her. So she looks at you with kind of like a lot of effort, and and then kind of like, what happened to texting? She doesn't have a phone, she has a magic wand. And then kind of like she also kind of like, she makes like a nodding gesture to the teacher in kind of class, and it's kind of like, and then she kind of like fiddles with the wand, and I think the words kind of say in front of you like I think their words kind of form in front of you, but they can figure out what they are. It's like she's trying to figure out. It's like the equivalent of seeing typing now, the typing now, on your phone, but like in front of you. She can't figure out yet how she's saying, but then she can't really figure out, and I think she looks at you and then kind of like blushes, and then looks away and just says, and I think the word's gonna say like, yeah, me too.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I think that so that's my train of thought there. Yes, I think
Sorry, I'm looking up a Tale of Two Cities cliff notes while you're talking.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so no, I think for the moment I'm just going to sort of continue like paying attention to the lesson more or less.
Yeah, I think that's a lesson. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say. I mean, I'll probably kind of. Well, I was saying I'll probably smile at the girl, but I have one of those kind of surgical face mask type deals on, so yeah, it's not particularly effective.
Yeah, I think as kind of like the lesson goes on, she sends you like a bunch more notes. I think mostly like making fun of your teacher and Majestic Magenta, who you may have fought. I don't know. Do you think you fought this one?
Ooh.
She only retired in the previous year.
Oh yeah, then go on. I think I did. I think I did once. I think it was. I think I was stealing a safe from an office building.
Nice. And I think there is a moment where like, yeah, your book is kind of like blocking, like, yeah, your actually no, I don't want to go in that direction. I think throughout the lesson, as the girl is kind of sending you like notes on trying to make fun of Majestic Magenta, and I don't know how you're responding to her, but I think there is a moment where like Majestic Magenta asks a question about, I think it's a literature, but instead of asking a question, she asking out in general to anyone, like what did Charles Dickens think of the French Revolution? There we go. That's a question. I think instead of asking anyone, instead what happens is like she kind of like makes the book that's floating in front of you. You feel like there's a flick of purple energy as she kind of like flicks the book away, and then kind of like just looks at you and says, "Mr. Goto, I wonder if you have an opinion on A Tale of Two Cities that you'd like to share with the class."
Well, miss, it's not the best of books, but it's not the worst either.
That's me face palming, and I think I think you can see like a nerve kind of like pulse on Majestic Magenta's like forehead, and she flicks the book back into the position. I think the class does laugh. The girl in front of you kind of like looks like she wants to laugh, so she's kind of like covering her mouth. I think Majestic Magenta's like, I see your wit has survived your transition into normal life, Mr. Goto. I like let's all hope that that's the only thing that's made it to here when you've switched sides. And I think she is kind of pushing your influence. She's trying to push your influence here. She's telling you like, have you really changed? What are you doing here? Have you really changed? God, there's a lot of playbooks of like adults being suspicious of y'all teens. Your checkered pasts.
Yeah, I'm going to resist her influence, I think.
Okay. All right. I didn't even tell you what the label shift was going to be, but like, no. All right. It's a roll. It's a flat roll.
That's a 9.
All right. So on a hit, you successfully hold yourself and tune them out. On a 7 to 9, you're going to choose one. Clear condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong. Shift one label up and one label down, your choice, or cancel their influence and take +1 forward against them.
Ooh. I suppose I will see what is she actually going. Sorry, I suppose she said what is she actually going to sort of say to me? What would her sort of
label shift?
Yeah.
She would move your danger up and your savior down.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So yeah, I think I'm going to say well, Miss, I think the point that Dickens was trying to make in The Tale of Two Cities is that what people will do, what people are capable of, is shaped by how they're brought up and the situation they find themselves in. And, you know, people have to try and do the best they can.
So which option was that? Just mechanically.
I think I'm going to go. I think that I will. I think I'm going to mark potential, and is that enough to count as sort of acting to prove her wrong, or will it actually take a kind of a more?
No, I think that's I think that's fine. Yeah, I think you're towing the line, so to speak. I don't know if Zero G wants to do that, but I think you're definitely acting to prove her wrong. So I think she just like says like, well reasoned. But I hope that's a sentiment you and everyone else in this class can extrapolate in 2.5 pages due tomorrow. And she flicks the book back with a bit of purple energy. It'll land back onto your desk. This is a roll with superior test. Let's see, let's just note that down. 0G superior, and I think at that kind of moment. And this is going to go for everyone. the intercom kind of rings. It's a nice, gentle, like doo 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 sort of jingle. It's actually reminding me of a very specific corporate jingle from a video game, like boom, 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 and on the intercom, it's the voice of your glorious president. There's the voice of your student council president. Diamond Dust comes in and just says like, "Hello, students. This is your student council president, Diamond Dust speaking. I'd just like to remind folks that the Silver Masquerade is coming up. It's an important date in the school semester, a chance for everyone to let their hair down, a chance for those who want to make a mark in the school to free themselves of obligation for one night. I just remind students that one needs to register for the Silver Masquerade. I'm hoping that the majority of you will do so. Anyone's going to be there after all, and yeah." And she doesn't say "and yeah." That's me going "and yeah." I shouldn't say that. And I think she says, "Yeah, that's all." And again, boom, boom, boom. Nice soft jingle. I think after this is like probably each class has 5 more minutes, and the bell rings. I think we're gonna stick to 0G at the moment, and then bring you all together in some way. But I think after the class, as you're all leaving, 0G, that girl kind of like, that girl kind of comes up to you, the tiny emo girl, and again, she doesn't say anything. In fact, it really looks like her lips are like she's keeping them closed, quite close. And she flicks out more words for you to say, and she says like, "You okay?" Seemed like Majestic Magenta was picking on you a bit.
We've got a little history, I suppose you could say, but it's nothing major. I'm Zero. What do they call you?
I think she kind of like does like that hesitant like shoulder shaking that I'm doing right now, and just like, "Well, people call me Screech because, well, they call me Screech," and again the words kind of go really fast, and like, "Well, they call me Screech because I'm being ironic, because if I shout right now, I'd take out half the hallway here, so I can't really talk. But yeah, Screech. Yeah, my name's Screech."
Cool. Well, nice to meet you.
So when you say you have history, what does that mean, if you don't mind me asking?
I started out on the other side of the law, if you know what I mean.
I think their eyes kind of widen a bit there. Like robbing banks and all that?
Not usually banks, no. Risk reward is... But yeah, more or less.
I think she's nodding like, okay. She's not really... I don't think she's scared. She's more like just excited. Well, unless you have anywhere else to go, I know someone who also kind of sort of started on the other side of the law. Kind of.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Do you know, in the school we have that daughter of the Dread Queen?
Oh, yeah, I'd heard about that. I didn't realize... Well, that's perhaps a little out of my league, but...
Nah, I think the two of you would hit off great. You both hate authority, I think. Kind of. unless I'm getting that wrong.
I wouldn't say hate so much as just have a healthy disregard for.
Yeah, well, she also has a healthy disregard, and she's getting nervous a bit there. And maybe you two can hit off. I mean, unless you have anyone else to sit with at lunch. I should mention this is now lunchtime.
I got no plans.
Cool. Well, come with me, I guess. Yeah. And she like kind of like walks off. Oh no, I think she said meet me at lunch at the cafeteria, and she kind of like walks off really quickly, like she west wings away from you. Yeah, before we get to like, we also have to deal with regicides or Kasey's cliffhanger. I want you, 0G, to roll your time passes move. So you're gonna roll plus your highest obligation.
That's a 5, so I think that means
you're gonna mark your obligation. So
yeah.
So, Mr. Kane, fuck it. All right, I'm just imagining it was Michael Caine now. Yeah. So you owe Mr. Kane. You really said Michael Caine, Mr. Kane, just a bit more. So it's gonna mount up for a bit. All right. So we'll move away from you for a moment, 0G. We'll cut to like the three of you. I guess we'll cut to the other three at lunch. I think in the middle of this, we're going to deal with what happened with Stalwart. But I do want to put the three folks before Screech barrels in with her new friend. So what are y'all talking about during lunch?
We might continue our conversation from the text chats we send to each other.
Yeah, so basically just chic talking teachers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mary grabs her food and sits down, like I'm immediately sliding from the text conversation to physical conversation. Like, you play something? Are you going to be the band for the dance? That would be amazing. Serenade, tell me everything.
I can make sounds and I can make music. Like, that is not that hard. But
I didn't know you played.
Okay, let me show you. And I will bring up the ambient sound and make some sort of music, like "Ode to Joy," or "Ode to Joy," I think. Kind of a few bars of that. I mean,
that's not really dance music, but that's still pretty cool.
I have not researched dance music yet, but I have a friend I could ask to show me. I do not know if you know Ash. She has pink hair. I do not think she goes to the school.
But I think I should if she has pink hair, because that's awesome.
Yeah,
she is awesome.
You should invite her for coffee sometimes.
We should go to the Starbucks sometime soon.
Is she a cult friend?
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't seen her as much since I've joined here, and I have a hard time saying what a good friend is, to tell the truth, because I have so little experience with friendship, I guess.
How did you two meet?
We met in a bookstore where she was about to lose control of her powers, I think. Yes.
Sounds like your average date among superheroes.
Yes, and then there was this person who tried to stab her.
In a bookstore?
He was mistaken, and I think he regretted it afterwards. He was not a bad person.
Sorry, I just read.
Okay. The fruit juice at this.
Sorry, I just want to clarify. Was that character? What that was David's character who tried to stab
That was
her, right?
Spectre, yes.
Yes.
That was
Okay.
Spectre.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I don't know if he tried to stab her or just. No, I think he tried to stab her.
He definitely attacked her. I remember that. That's
Yeah.
what set
Mhm.
off.
Yeah.
I think he tried to grapple her, but yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, for those who don't know, it was for Ryan. Ash is a character that showed up in the Apocalypse Sonata play set. She was a drummer. She's in college. That's why she doesn't go here.
Oh, right, she's older.
And yeah, she has a shard of a thing that could remake the universe in her. That's why she has powers. Anyway.
Yep, it's a pretty nice thing, and she's a pretty nice person. And I do not know if Diamond Dust would want me to do this because we are not good friends after the whole wing dislocation thing. I do not think she likes me, which I can understand.
Maybe we can convince your friend's band to play at the dance. Or failing that, maybe you can bring her to the dance as your +1.
Okay, I can ask her, I guess.
I would also like to point out that her band is a Clash tribute band. Damn you, Alan. I think.
Right.
I think at this moment, this is kind of like. I think at this moment, either I could bring Screech in, or should we deal with Kasey's cliffhanger? You know what? I'm gonna bring in, because I want to see Zero G interact with y'all. So I think this is the moment when like Screech kind of like walks over, looking like she's trying to shrink a bit, and she goes over to y'all, and she makes the words and says, "Hi, hi."
Hi.
Hey, come sit with us.
Hello.
I think she kind of like gingerly sits and it's like, is it okay that I invited someone to talk to you, Kasey? And I think the words are kind of jittery as well.
Oh, sure. Zero G was it, right? I've seen you around.
Yeah. Hey. And hey, Serenade, it's been a while.
You're a friend of Spectre's, aren't you?
Yeah, you could say that.
Oh, well. We were just talking about Spectre. Well.
Small world.
Yes.
I think Screech kind of like, anyway, Zero G, he's really cool, but he was being hassled by Majestic Magenta for stupid stuff, kind of like stupid stuff you have to deal with, Kasey. So I thought you could talk about that.
What is wrong with the teachers lately? So, Jirusi, do you have Aegis scholarship or something like that?
Sort of, yeah.
I wonder if the principal is putting pressure on them to, shape us up to be proper soldiers. That reminds me of last year. They were pretty strict with that, setting their agents on us. What did they do to you?
Just attitude, nothing I couldn't deal with. It's I think she still holds a grudge from the time I stuck her to the ceiling.
Well, I mean, they are adults and they are superheroes. Honestly, it's their fault that they let themselves be beaten by teens. They should grow thicker skin.
I'm not sure I agree with you on that point, Kasey, but I have to figure out how to argue the contrary.
How come? What is your point?
My point is that, that is exactly what I'm trying to think of, because I do not think that somebody who has been, I assume that they were in a way uncomfortable with the situation, has no right to bear a grudge.
I was not thinking from that way. I guess I was thinking more on law enforcement versus alleged criminal. But I can see where you're coming from. Good point, Serenade.
I think Screech is kind of like, anyway, she was being a total jerkwad, but we'll persevere, I guess. Anyway, so about this dance, what are y'all doing for the dance?
I don't know yet, but I mean, I'm going. Obviously.
Screech is not like, okay.
So, what is the theme that each of you is going for?
Silver Masquerade was what the loudspeaker, what Diamond Dust said. I have no idea what that means. Obviously, I know what the masquerade is, and I also know what silver is, but in this context, I'm overwhelmed. Again.
Mary pauses like partway through being about to describe what a masquerade is, like, oh, you've got that already.
I think she's like, yeah, it seems really cool. I've never really done a dance sort of thing. Well, I guess there's the parties Nosferatu throws, but it usually turns into like a black satanic mass, and like sometimes I just like want to have a party or some sort. But he's like, no, we have to try to summon this demon. But like, is anyone gonna try and summon a demon at this masquerade? I hope not.
Should we? I mean, if there is a demon, I think I would be rather on the side who beats the demon up.
Were you not with the demon last week?
Was I?
Yeah.
What demon was I with?
That one, Princess Ollie Hoops or something.
Oh, I remember that she is maybe a demon, but I think she's a dream.
Yeah, I think she's attending. So I guess there will be demons already there. There will be no need to summon them.
I don't think she's a demon. I think she's like a squirrel.
She's a dream, so she can be both a demon and a squirrel.
Yeah.
I think that's the point of dreams.
Yeah. Dreams can be demons. Squirrels can self-identify as whatever they want.
Like, maybe this all makes sense to Screech because Screech is used to magic.
Yeah, kind of. I think she's more like. I think as this conversation's going on, it's more like this is not the direction she wanted to go. So she sends a message for a smaller message to Zero, just saying, "You going to this masquerade?"
I don't know. I guess I could do it. Would be something to do.
Yeah, it seems fun. And I think Screech is trying really hard to like keep her mouth closed. And she's kind of waving the wand. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I can't say I've been to many like formal dances before, but
it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I haven't been either, but I heard this thing has masks, and if it's being put on by someone like Diamond Dust, she'll spare no expense.
Well, I do like masks. And And again, there might possibly be a kind of an ironic grin there, but it's covered up by the surgical mask. So
Yeah, and I think this conversation is happening as like the other three are talking about demon werewolves. I don't know what the fuck are you all talking about in that chat, but like demon werewolves.
Yeah, at some point, Kasey starts talking about who she's getting to help with the costumes. I think I'm going for Enigma. I have not visited him in over a year. I wonder what they are up to.
What kind of costume should I wear?
Something fun.
I have no idea about fun. You know that.
is it like a fancy dress deal with it being?
Well, somebody should dress up as a dragon.
Not again, please. I've read the reports.
Yeah.
Oh, but that can be a good inspiration, you know. You can go with the team of Dragon Slayer. That will certainly upset a certain person.
I think thinking about the incident, I would rather not. I lost control there very badly, and well, I shouldn't have. I hurt her. I didn't mean to.
Did you talk with her afterwards?
No, she was busy. And I was busy as well with helping Mary, and I felt it would not look good for me to go up to her, and then she was not available anyway, and she was too busy to talk to me.
I mean, that's not good. I mean, at least for your own peace of mind, you should at least apologize to her.
I guess you're right. I should. I say to Siroji, you might not have heard it, but I attacked the dragon and I lost a bit of control and I dislocated its wings so it couldn't fly away.
Yeah, I heard a little something about that. I didn't get the full details. You know how rumors are in this place.
I was actually going to ask if Serenade kind of admitting to like that, is that sharing a vulnerability or a weakness?
Sure. Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, let's use these team moves. They exist for a reason.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Let me look at my team moves. There, I have new ones. Oh, I should ask if I'm losing or gaining humanity. They say losing, mark a condition, and mark potential. If they say gaining, clear a condition and shift mundane up, which I can't do, and another label down. So, well.
Weird.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that.
I mean, what makes sense in the fiction is the second one, but I don't know if it fits mechanically.
It means you can shift the label down.
I don't want to shift the label down without shifting another one up.
Yeah, that's a bad deal.
That's true. All right. That is a bad deal. All right, I think we can move on if you don't think it'll, be if mechanically it's just gonna be confusing.
I mean, mark potential is always nice.
All right, so I think we'll move on to the bit where like whatever scenes folks want to do. But first, yeah, and everyone's talking about Star Wars. All right, okay. So I think kind of like I think as the lunchtime ends and y'all kind of break off to your separate classes, I think Kasey, you get a message from Stalwart saying, "I think I'm okay now. I'm ready to come back." And then we flash back. I think in the comic book it works, there's a panel of you looking at your phone saying, I think I'm ready to come back. We turn the page and it's like proper like Watchmen shit. It's the exact same pose and panel, but it's a different image. It's a different message in the phone. It's It's what Stalwart said last session, being like, I don't think I have much time left. And so I think, and you said, and Kasey did say she would go straight to where Stalwart is. So I think you probably go to where Stalwart is staying. Stalwart is staying in the dorm. Just for context for you, David, Stalwart is a self-proclaimed dread knight of Vortuvia who's come to become Kasey's guard / bodyguard, envoy / present from Kasey's mom. They wear this like Magitech sort of medieval armor that is a fusion of magic and technology. They never take it off. They're surprisingly adorable. Because they were challenged to a fight by Serenade, and Serenade beat them in one punch. And decided, no, I have to stick around and prove my worth. Prove my worth to Kasey. And so they've stuck around. They become friends with Mary, because they're in the same classes. But they've been sick for a while. They've been missing. Errant, the Kasey's like mask self, their mask came from Stalwart, and they had to go on a trip to get a new mask for Stalwart. But they've still been sick. So I think when you kind of like come in to Stalwart's room, Kasey, it's quite Spartan. It's bare. There's like a bed and a desk, and that's about it. And standing next to the desk is Stalwart. Well, the suit of armor. And obviously the helmet's different. And you can tell it jars from like the rest of their armor, and you can tell that it looks a bit weird, and it doesn't join cleanly, the helmet to like the suit of armor. And I think they go, my liege, and they kneel again. they go on one knee again in front of you, but it's like a stiff motion. It's like there's like a bit more effort to it. And they kneel.
We went about this. We are supposed to be fellow knights, crossing each other's paths in the way of our quests.
I'm sorry. They stand up again, a bit more awkwardly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my liege. I mean, Kasey, it's been hard trying to reacquaint myself with that status quo. I will try my best.
Never mind that. What is this deal? What has been happening to you?
My Kasey, I think there's a moment there's like several false starts to kind of like try to figure out what they're gonna say, and then they kind of like instead they open like there's a compartment on their arm, and you can see like there's like a screen and like buttons or whatnot, and they press some buttons and like this magical display comes up, and you can see like life readings and whatnot. I did not reveal this to you until now, as I'm doing it right now. But this suit of armor, this gift of Vortuvia's incredible expertise in fusing magic technology, it is what is keeping me alive.
Wait, alive? As in alive on the biological mid-space sense? I thought you were, a silicon-based citizen of Victoria.
No, Kasey, I'm as flesh and blood as well, to an extent. No, I was not. I am not of circuits or algorithms. I'm of flesh. Though not much of flesh if I were to step off away from this armor. It's hard to explain, Kasey. It's But no, I'm not. I'm not of Vertuvia's Silicon civilizations. I'm much like yourself.
What do you mean, much like yourself?
They sigh, and they press a catch on their helmet, and it splits open. And you see your face.
Oh, well, I heard rumors, but I thought they all were either undecanted or left back in the homeland.
I think when you kind of say that, I think they kind of immediately put their helmet back, their face way back on. It's like, oh, it's enough. You saw your face once. It's fine. They're like, not all of them. Again, I think they kind of like awkwardly they push the magical display away, and it's like, no, I have to admit a falsehood to you, Kasey. I was not sent over here by command of our dread queen. I came here of my own volition. I came here under a false pretense. I have been a liar. I've been a deceiver to you, to you, Kasey. I'm unfit to be your fellow knight. I'm a fraud.
Well, you know what was the thing that I would have given anything when I came out of the island to Prospect City? It would be for someone that could understand the position in which I was. Someone that, I will not have to prove myself to them for them to believe me. And I had to lie a lot. I mean, for a long time, Casey Dread was a lie until it became my name. So I too lied. But the thing is, I know how you feel. I know how you are. And I was not, thankfully, if there is one thing that Ksenia gave me was a hyper enhanced body. So I had no issues with frailty. I can only understand how that makes it worse and what you have been fighting. Not only to find a place, but to find survival. And I want you to know that I can help for sure with one of those things, and I'll do anything on my effort to help you with another. There has to be another way to support you, to sustain you, other tools to help you live the life that you want to live.
I think Stalwart, whose helmet is back on, they kind of like their heads kind of tilted forward, tilted down, and so like, for the longest time, I wondered what made me, why me and others like me were thrown away while you thrived compared to us. I wondered what made you special and why we have to exist. It had to exist like this. I'm the reason I lied was because I wanted to know how you how she could treat you so much better than she treated us. And I think you answered that, Kasey.
I don't think that's it. Sorry. Sorry, Stalwart. I think that even if I was someone else, she would have treated me the same way. I'm not someone special, and that's why I got preferential treatment now. Unfortunately, I have to say that I got this preferential treatment, and I decided to try to give it back. I am not really different from you, not where it matters, at least. The thing is that I was given different opportunities and put on a different position. I think it could very easily be the other way around. I am not someone special, and this legitimizes the awfulness that was done to others and the privilege that was invested on me. That is what, what I like to believe every day that matters is that what I choose to do with the education that I received, with uh, how I was raised, with the privilege of nobility, and with the opportunity to explore the world on my terms. That's it. I'm not special, and I have to give it back every single day. And every single day, I am falling short.
Wrote the comfort and support there.
Okay. And I think I'm taking off my mask, so I'm gonna change my freak with my mundane.
Mm-hmm. Which they're both 0. Oh, they're not. Oh, what? Yeah, the freak was 1. Sorry, freak was 1.
And I get an 11.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think Al Stalwart says, I think you're doing better than you give yourself credit for, Kasey. And I know you do not want this, but I'll say this of my own free will, that I will follow you and make sure you succeed to the standard you wish to live up to. If you'd have me.
It is not a question if you will serve me or not. If you really want to join me in giving back to the community, to the advantage that have been given to us, to the positions we find ourselves, to the skills and powers we acquire, you're going to need to be the best version of yourself. And that includes actualizing yourself, learning what is your place in the world, what others people's need, and more important, when the people that care about you, when the people you care about, when you have to step ahead and call them out on their bullshit. Because that's what community care is. That's how we make our bonds. And that's the thing. I inherited a lot. You also inherited a lot. Less, but much more than the vast majority of the people. And we have this massive debt. And we should be supporting each other and trying to let others find their own path, to drag them out of the squalor and pettiness that steals their life away, that denies them the means to self-actualize, the means to free themselves, to go beyond the very base conditions. You need to do that. And first, I need to do that for you. You are no good to anyone else if you die. Not when you are here, not when you open yourself to me, not when by all rights you are a hero. You just need to find your place. If you think I am a hero, you're just as much of a hero as I am, because I was you. I was on your place.
I think I know what Star wants to say, but like, in the interest of time, I think that from there, the next panel, it kind of comes back to you say that, and I think there's like a moment, there's a beat in the panel where like Stalwart doesn't say anything, and then the next panel is like you go looking back at your phone saying, and you see Stalwart saying, "I think I'm ready to come back now."
And I reply back, did you find out where can you find a way to overcome your condition?
I think they respond, "For now."
And I just respond, please let it not be ages. I hope to see you after school.
Cool. All right. So, well, let's see how much time we have left. All right, we have plenty of time. I want to see what each other character wants to do in this session to like follow some stuff up, set some things up, cause chaos. Not sure. But yeah. So if you don't have any ideas, I'll throw some stuff at y'all. But go ahead, Serenade.
Well, Kasey told me what I've got to do, so I try to do it and go and apologize to Diamond Dust.
Actually, let's do a round of like what people want to do. So like I have an idea. So there's that. What does Mary want to do?
I guess forget about dad stuff. Maybe talk to Stalwart some because Stalwart has been texting back like, sorry, I'm sick and I can't come out for weeks. And that's worrying.
Yeah, they have.
I don't know. I'm up for anything. Whatever.
Cool. Okay, cool. I'll have something to throw at you in a minute. What about you, Zero G?
Yeah, there's like not like a specific sort of dramatic thing I want to do, but what Zero G is going to be doing it is he will be going to the library to work on this book report for Magenta.
That's fair. Ooh, okay, cool. Oh yeah, reminds me you need to. Well, I mean, it's gonna have in fiction. You're gonna have to turn in this homework, and you have to do some rolls to see how well that worked. But let's start with Serenade, and so yeah, I think you go off. Yeah, it would be Diamond to have her own office. No, I think the student council. There's a student council room, for sure.
Yeah,
it's.
I can ask one of her cronies. She has these hangers on, I guess. Yes, I can talk to them.
Yeah,
on the door, right?
No, well, no, that's her flunky Victor. He I think she would be adamant to not put gears on her door. Sorry, Victor is a steampunk guy. Just so they would know, he's a thing. Anyway, no, I think there is an official student council room next to the headmaster's office. So you know the way to the headmaster's office. Anyway, Serenade.
Yes, very well.
Very well. Yeah, but yeah, there's a student council room, and I think you could see that like there's a sign saying, you know, the president is in.
Well, I will knock.
I think you hear you'll hear her voice going, "Come in."
Okay, I will go in.
Yeah, and I think it's surprisingly, it kind of just looks like a nice classroom. There's like a big table in the middle for like, you know, for the council to like sit around and talk. There's like a whiteboard, there's projectors, there's like some desks pushed up, and I think Diamond Dust is sitting at the head of the table. They're big nice chair. She looks like a mafia don, honestly, but she's got like papers and writing and whatnot. Just to describe her again for David's sake, she described her as wearing a lot of faux fur coats and having a blonde Jackie Kennedy haircut. That's kind of the long and short of it. Yeah, but yeah, lots of papers in front of her. There's a juice box It looked like she's been here since lunch, or during lunch. And she looks at you and says, "Ah, Serenade of Thorns, what can I do for you?"
I have come to apologize. I attacked you when you had that accident with Princess Hollyhock, and I lost control and I hurt you, and I'm sorry.
Well, this apology is long due in coming, but I'll accept it. Still, you didn't do too bad after all. You see, I'm perfectly fine.
I am glad to hear that.
I do hope, though, that in the future you found a means to control control what happened there.
So do I. I have not lost control like that in a while.
I think she kind of like tilts her head because she noticed, your new transformed state, and she says, like, "Well, I hope that I hope you're making progress. If you don't mind me saying."
I am. I think it is not a path that many have taken.
But you're so brave to take it, then. I
I
think
know.
she's smiling as if like she knows your whole life history.
Are you mocking me?
No, I do feel that you're brave to try and throw off what's been bedeviling you for quite a while, Serenade of Thorns.
And now I think you're misreading me. I'm not trying to throw off anything. Well, maybe. We are trying to throw off things that have been done to us. And I don't know why I'm telling you that. You are not my friend.
No, we're not friends. But you strike me as someone who's incredibly perceptive. If I got you completely wrong, but if we're all trying to throw things off us, then tell me, what do you think I'm trying to throw off? You can try to pierce the mask here if you
Yeah, sure. I mean, I need XP, right? Yeah, I've rolled a 6, -2 is a 4, but I can still ask the side off. So.
Ooh, yeah. I feel like you've asked her this before, but I've forgotten what the answer is.
Yeah, so have I.
And things changed. That was pre-becoming a dragon.
That was becoming a president.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what do you think Serenade says when Diamond Dust asks her to like read her?
What you are trying to throw off, I believe it is I believe you do not like to be one in a mass. You want to stick out. You want to be the best.
I think she kind of like
But I do not know what you are trying to overcome here, because you do not strike me as somebody who needs to do that.
Well, the thing is, I don't need to. Well, no, strike that. I do need to. It's something that I can't say no to. I think she kind of leans forward and says, like, I'm doing my best here, Serenade, so that nobody will ever have the opportunity to look down on me. I think.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
to be honest, you're shaping yourself into the expectations of other people, and people will always look down on someone who does that.
Directly engage a threat.
I can't do that. I'm good at that.
No, well, no, it's it. No,
No, I'm not
no.
touching her.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I
But
think no,
that's-
you still failed the role. So
Yeah, that's why I'm being so brutal.
yeah, you can do whatever you want because I have a move. But
Yeah. I want to give her an excuse to hate me.
I think she gives you like a look. I think the consequence I'll give you is like you can gain a condition. She kind of gives you a look as is to say like. I think I'm trying to figure out because I'm trying to remember what she said to you last time you had a confrontation. Because I don't want to repeat myself.
I think it was something about like I don't matter anyway.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes, she said you didn't matter because she was going for other votes. She wasn't wrong. Well, no, she wasn't completely right. She wasn't completely right, but she still wasn't completely wrong.
True, but in the end, turns out.
Well, it was close. It was still very close. But so I think she's like, oh, I'm sure people think a lot of things about me, Serenade. But that's the beauty of being where I am and fighting for what I have right now. I don't have to give a shit about that. But everyone has to give a shit about me. You have anything more to apologize?
I do not think so.
Unless you have any more business here. Unless there's something you want to say to me about, I don't know, anything else. And I think I shouldn't even say you can go. She just kind of just looks away with her head on her hand. You're gonna take a condition, by the way.
Yeah, I'm taking a condition. I'm not sure if it's guilty or insecure, but I guess it's insecure at that moment.
Okay.
Yeah,
you're facing someone you can't really punch your way out of.
I can. That's the problem. I can punch my way out of that, but it won't solve the problem.
No, well, yeah, it won't. It won't solve the problem. I think before you leave, she kind of goes like, "Oh, you see Princess Holly Hawk or whatever. Tell her I need to talk to her."
I am not your messenger.
But you agree that she should apologize as well, right?
I think that's between you and her. I will not stand with you against her, as sorry as I am. I will not. She's my friend. You are not. And then I go. And now I need Mary. Damn.
Let's see what Mary's doing before Serenade gets to you. Unless you just want to do that, Mary.
I mean, Serenade can definitely find me. What I'm doing is probably flipping through. It's gotta be a hard copy thing. Probably some magazine with like this year's prom fashions or something, going like, what do outfits look like in this decade? I need to look cool, but there's got to be the appropriate amount of either ruffles or shoulder pads. I haven't decided, but one or the other.
I think as you're kind of doing that, you hear someone rap on the table, and you see that it's your lab, your time partner, Paradox 4, and they say like, "I need to ask some questions. It is to complete this assignment."
Okay.
It's quite urgent. I apologize for taking up your time, but the sooner this assignment can be completed, the sooner I can complete my task.
Yeah, that's probably real important. Mary dog ears the page, so she'll remember that this one did indeed have appropriate amounts of ruffles. And kind of closes the magazine. What did you need to ask?
What are shoulder pads?
Well, and Mary is gonna launch into it about shoulder pads and how if you want to look like a high-powered business person, you gotta have shoulder pads that make you look tough and they extend your shoulder, and it's a very imposing image, and people don't like them here, and I don't really know what's that's about, but they look good. And the bigger ones you have, the more authority you have. That's just like obvious.
I think they kind of nod very seriously and look at you. They have like very boxy shoulders. It's not really shoulder pads, but it kind of looks like it. And say, I see.
Yeah, probably been comments like, and you wouldn't really need them. I mean, you've already kind of got them built in. But if you put on like a jacket with shoulder pads over that, you would look so imposing. Everyone would respect you.
I see. Then should shoulder pads be worn to this masquerade?
I mean, don't let me tell you what to dress. Like, follow your heart and that kind of stuff. But you can't go wrong with shoulder pads.
Very well. I apologize if these questions seem ridiculous. It's just that in my time, we have had no time for frivolities like this masquerade. All our records of this time are in flux. I have told you of the gray sun that have obliterated all colors in our time. It is a fate I wish to avert. And they kind of look at you as like, you have traveled forward. You have traveled the reverse of my path, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think quite as far, but yeah.
May I ask, what was the purpose of your trip?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I didn't launch myself back into the past I don't know what it is that you're doing, but that I got like tossed here.
Then your presence is a mystery then.
I guess, yeah.
In our time, we were prepared for the existence of paradoxes, for the existence of temporal, what our briefings called temporal shenanigans. But quite frankly, that was my commanding officer trying to be ridiculous. If you have come forward, then there must be another you here. A version of you that has grown. Is there?
Yeah. But the report's not about them, right? It's about the past. Right?
Yes. I apologize. I should keep to the parameters of the report. I think there's a moment where, I think you hear a beep boop from him, and I think he says a fellow student approaches. I must go. I must attend to my mission. Although I hate to ask another favor from yourself, Mary Landry, but this will be an indirect matter, but it might help my task greatly. Would you accept this favor? Would you accept doing this favor?
I mean, it depends on what the favor is, because, I mean, I've accepted some that I'm not actually physically capable of doing, because people ask for really weird things here. But, I mean, I'd listen.
Yes, things in the school are terribly weird. There was a spectral phantasm who claimed to be my great 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 great, and this goes on for 20 seconds. Great 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 another 20 seconds. Great 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 grandmother. Anyway, the favor. Before I came to this timeline, we sent my predecessor, Paradox Tree, came here to try to avert our horrible timeline. He managed to find some clues as to what would make our timeline come about. But again, temporal shenanigans have waylaid him from coming back to us. But he did send us information, as important information, as to what would make our timeline come about. He told us of the great corruptor who will give power to our enemies and ensure this gray sun. I believe that corruptor to be around this time, to be of this time. I've tried to locate her in this time, but my equipment is again beset by temporal shenanigans.
Time does make everything really complicated, yeah.
If you know the whereabouts of an ash hide, would you pass on the information to myself?
Yeah, sure. Of course I would do that. That's a totally reasonable thing to ask. I am on it. Yeah, definitely. Cool.
I think they nod then, and they don't say goodbye. They just get up and leave. And I think they pass by Serenade as you come into the library.
Serenade, you know your friend Ash? I think I met someone from the future where she like makes the sun go gray and ruins everything, and now they're all robots.
I do not know what to say to that.
I don't really either.
Is it a bad thing for the sun to go gray?
I mean, my, I guess, interview partner is trying to avert that future, I think. Although they seem really attached to not colors, so I'm not sure. Maybe everyone's happy about it and it's all cool and they just want to like give her a parade. But also they call her the corruptor, which doesn't sound nice.
No, that does not sound nice. Ash is very powerful, and I'm afraid she might not entirely be in control of that, but she is my friend. And I mean, I would fight for her, I guess, if I had to.
And maybe they're wrong anyway. I mean, someone with pink hair wouldn't try to destroy all color, right?
Right. Yes.
Sounds
Of
wrong.
course not. No, I do not think so. No, that does not make sense. Maybe they are wrong. I talked to Diamond Dust. And
okay.
Well, and now I feel like I have lost 5 inches of height. I do not know what it is with her. She makes people feel like they are insignificant. And I will admit that I maybe was too honest with her. And this is all a confused jumble. I went to apologize and she accepted. And then she made some strange compliments about my progress. But it did not feel like compliments. It felt like she was mocking me.
Yeah, and she's a jerk. Yep.
Thank you for saying that.
Her opinions don't really matter because they're wrong.
I feel very comforted and supported by you.
Oh yeah, hold on. No,
Can I roll to comfort and support? I think there are moves in this game.
Yeah, there are moves. Yeah, dice are rolled in this game. Hell yeah.
But that is exactly what I needed to hear.
Do you have influence over Serenade?
I think I do.
You should.
Yes, I have influence on everybody but 0G.
Mhm.
I am super influential.
Mhm. We maybe should sometime get into a fight where all this matters.
Yeah.
Like, I think we haven't had one team thingy fight in the whole.
Oh dear.
No, we haven't yet. No.
Cool.
Well, you never know what could happen. Yeah.
No, it doesn't
We'll
matter.
talk about
we
it
had enough.
later.
We had enough fights.
Someday I'll start a fight in the halls, and it'll be awesome.
What you get?
I got. Oh no, I have to do math. 13.
Wow. Okay.
That's the basic rank list.
All right. So Serenade is hella comforted or
Yeah.
or supported. So on a hit to hear you, they mark potential, clear condition, or shift labels if they open up to you. And on a 10+, you, Mary, can add a team or clear condition. I guess it's
Well, I don't have conditions, so I guess I'll add some team.
hell yeah.
Cool.
So which one are you picking, Serenade?
I'll clear a condition. I mean, I was insecure. Now I have been reassured that Diamond Dust is a jerk and nothing that she says matters. So, okay, I'm not
Yeah,
that
her
insecure
opinions are
anymore.
bad and wrong, and you're awesome.
Yeah.
The end.
That's fair. Cool. Unless there's anything else in that scene. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Serenade.
Thank you. I was just saying thank you, Mary. That was very helpful. I feel a lot better now. I do not know why I let her get this close to me. I am partly human after all, I guess.
So there's not really a good way to transition to this, but is that metal stuff supposed to be there?
Yes, I do not know. Maybe I have unlocked some things in the implant, and that is what happened then. And maybe it is a good thing. Maybe I connect more with the implant, but maybe it is a bad thing because I might lose myself. There is this, the implant makes this, I mean, can you hear it? There's always this noise. I can't suppress it, but it's hard. And I have it always in my mind, and it's getting harder to ignore.
Yeah, and you're humming like, not like a refrigerator, but you know, that kind of all the time sort of sound.
Yes, I know.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just a little weird.
Yes, I am aware. It's worse in my head. So.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
No, it is good to talk about this.
I'm sure I don't need to tell you, but don't lose yourself. Yourself is pretty cool.
I have to figure out who that is, really. So, what being myself means. For a long time, meant being a weapon. But I have taken off some stuff of that. Some controls. I don't know if that's a good thing. But I'm learning. I'm still not very old.
I mean,
but the
I don't really know if anything's a good thing right now. I mean, stuff is very confusing, but yeah.
But having friends is a good thing.
Yes, friends are a good thing.
Yes. Cool.
I think.
And Diamond Dust might be after Princess Hollyhock. I have a feeling.
Yeah, for a moment, Mary was like almost on level footing with this conversation, and then it just slid right away from her again.
I like that Mary is on even footing when it's not comic book nonsense that she has to deal with. She's so down to earth. Poor Mary. I was gonna say, speaking of having friends, we'll cut to 0G, who's working very hard on his own on this assignment, and I think we're gonna open next session with the rest of this scene. Sorry, David. It's just we're
No, that's okay.
I think you're working. What does Zirji look like when he's working hard on a project, on an assignment?
Yeah, so I think he is kind of just he's got the book again. The book probably is kind of just like levitating in front of him, but he's like scribbling down notes and stuff on a little notepad, and and I think you can sort of see he does have like kind of a look of concentration on his face as he's working on it.
Cool. I think this is the cliffhanger for this session. Because we have to there's a bunch of end of session stuff we have to go through. I think you hear like again kind of like a hand kind of like rap on the table as you're concentrating, and you hear like a voice go like, "Do you mind if I join you?" And you look up and it's Mary. Issues over. Oh, you're gonna say something? Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No, I mean, I think he will just like just to the chair next to him.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll deal with that next week when Ryan's not here. Sorry. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna roll at the end of the session. We're gonna roll to see how your assignments went. Obviously, you turning the assignment is gonna happen after this scene next session. But like, oops, sorry, Ryan. So actually, let's go with the order of the character keeper. So Mary, your assignment was to write a report on your partner's weird time travel shenanigans. You're probably not. Yeah.
I didn't interview them at all. All I have to write about is I think that one of my friends' friends ruins their future.
Roll was savior, and the team may choose to spend team on each role as per the normal rules to help each other. You can reference flashbacks to study sessions or activities. So, but you have two teams. So, what'd you roll?
I got a 13 again, so I am really good at BSing this report.
Hell yeah. On a 10 plus, on a hit, you pass the test. On a 10 plus, you pass with flying colors. You are either going to mark one potential or shift the test label and shifts the test table and down, shift up the test label and down any other label your choice.
I can't shift up the test label because I am made of savior. There is no way I'm ever going to be a supervillain. I don't know what you're talking about, so I take potential.
Hell yeah. So yeah, I don't know what you did to make writing this guy might be off to fight a friend of a friend, but I don't know how
sure it was very insightful about the confusing nature of time and how someone who seems a hero now could be a villain of some possible future, and lots of philosophy.
Yeah.
Also, lots of talk about colors.
Yeah, I'm sure how someone who seems like a hero can be a villain is something that Mary isn't really concerned about. No, not really. No, is she concerned about that? Probably. I don't know. I can't speak for Mary. All right, Serenade, you were tasked with you're tasked with writing about the socio-political ramifications of the Berlin Wall.
Yes. I roll that with superior. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, let's see how that goes.
I got an 8.
All right. So on a hit, you're gonna pass the test. On a 7 to 9, the move is on the NPC tab. On a 7 to 9, you did all right, but had to sacrifice something to make the cut. Choose one. You disappoint an adult, give an adult influence over you. Which I guess they already do that. You sacrifice your social life, give a team or NPC influence out of guilt. You lost a responsibility. Someone who had invested in you no longer believes you can do what they asked for you. The GM will tell you who and which responsibility. Or you hurt your academic standing. The first time you choose this, your grades are falling, which is fine. The second time you choose this, you are on probation. The third time, you're expelled. So basically, the last one is like just in case there's nothing interesting you want to do with the other ones.
Okay, no, I want to do something interesting, but for this time, I like the grades are falling stuff because my research wasn't that good, I guess.
Why is it?
Maybe I just read the wrong book. That's because I read Chinese better than English, and the Chinese book was kind of weird about capitalism and influences and why the whole socialism failed and whose fault it was and stuff like that. So,
Oh yeah, Mr. Wyatt strikes me as a very centrist guy who doesn't care about any of that sort of thing. And anyway, yeah. So there we go. Your grades are falling for now. Kasey, you were tasked. You were the science teacher is giving you like, all right, you're gonna do this properly. This dimension watching shit.
Yeah, but I'm gonna roll with freak, and I lost my mask. So
Find time to switch.
yeah, and I can only do that once per session. So that will be interesting. Let's see. 6. That plus 1 would have been nice here.
Oh, yeah, it would have been nice. Yeah,
you can use team. You could use team.
For this?
Yeah, Rihanna said so. We can help you with your. What was your assignment?
Yeah, it was to studying these portals to another dimension. Who will be helping me with this and how?
I mean, Mary could always show up like, I can sit with you and we can study these portals and it'll be really boring, but I brought coffee, sort of thing. But someone else
that sounds actually nice. You know, that Mary says that there is still light on Kasey's room, and they appear with coffee. Hey, what you're doing? I have no idea, but I'm going to be super supportive.
Yes, everything is better with coffee and buds.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so 7. Same choices as I gave Serenade.
Now I have, because of the help, I'm unsure. I either want to give it to Princess Flower. You know, the grade that we get is decent, but they are 100% sure that if they were working alone or with someone else, they would have gotten a better grade. Or with Mary, because of the support that they gave.
Oh, I just realized if you give an adult influence, they can shift your label. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's what the movie. Okay, I just realized that right now.
Yeah,
but that's the thing.
And if you give me influence, I already have influence over you, so I shift.
So you will shift my label. Actually, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give it to Mary.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, depends on like whether you want to keep this thing, like, keep Mary in the focus, or do you want to bring Princess Flower into the focus? But it sounds like you can give it to Mary. So, all right, so let's shift them labels, and we'll get to poor 0G. Well, not poor. No, 0G's doing fine. He's cool. Yeah, shift those labels first.
Oh no. Kasey's labels are so flat that I hate to change it because it makes a perfect symmetry. I think I'm gonna mark. I hate doing this, but danger down and mundane up because I haven't seen Kasey being, threatening, going to take over the world, dread queen type. But I have seen her being a kind of cool person to hang out with while she does boring homework.
That's fitting.
Yeah. For a science class taught by an angry killbot AI from the future, she did just give you she gave you the equivalent of star coordinates. Looking at them, of course. All right, 0G, you have a paper to write about the Tale of Two Cities. Oh boy, you're always superior.
Well, that's Snake Eyes. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Okay. On a miss, you blew it hard, and the faculty and people who care about you will come down on you. Prepare yourself. I mean, I guess there's a reason. Well, it depends on how this conversation with Mary goes. I guess there's a reason why you got distracted.
Excellent.
For 0G. All right. Well, we'll see. I'll come to that next week. All right. Now we go to the actual end of session moves. And y'all are Masks veterans at this point, so I don't need to explain what these moves, what each choice does. So just make your choices. We'll wrap back to Mary. So how you feeling at the end of that session?
I think I'm gonna go closer to the team because, though I still can't forgive myself for losing the election after they put all that work into me, clearly they haven't totally cut ties because Serenade still wants to be my friend. We did have failure frappuccinos, so Serenade made me feel welcome.
Sorry. Yeah, I get to shift your labels if I already have influence on you, which I do. And I will shift your superior up. And I don't want to. Can I shift your freak down? Yes. Yes, you're not freakish. You're the most unfreakish person I know.
I basically don't even have superpowers. You've seen me shapeshift.
No, I don't. I don't know what you are really doing here, but I like it.
There's a moment where you made yourself like kind of tall to put posters up. I remember that.
No, I didn't. I just stood on tiptoe.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I changed hair color once, but only Stalwart saw.
Oh yeah. Okay. Wait. Okay. That's something I should note down for the future. All right. So speaking of, mark. I guess you can mark potential. There's no conditions to clear right now. Jeez, get that potential, Mary. All right. Serenade of Thorns. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I grew closer to the team totally. First with Kasey telling me that I should go apologize, and then with talking to Mary about my feelings, which I'm not used to. So I have to say it's Mary because, I mean, Serenade isn't usually somebody who knows how to talk about their feelings. They did it with Enid, but they were very tired. Hey, Mary reminds them of Enid a bit. They both know very much about coffee.
They have no other similarities that could ever come up. Yes.
Nope. Yeah. No other similarities. Nope. Not at all.
I kind of hate myself for it, but I think I'm gonna mark your danger down a notch and your freak up one notch because you are pretty weird, but you're not a dangerous weird. You're like a fun weird.
Best kind of weird. All right, Kasey, how you feeling?
So I think I grew closer to the team, and I think the vehicle for that was actually 0G, because 0G kinda was the facilitator of what probably has been the closest that Kasey was to someone else, and that there was a bit of normalcy to the group after the election. And I think she is going to hold him accountable for that, and is going to start to value his opinion much more. So I give influence to 0G.
Cool, thank you. And obviously, I do take that. So because I don't have it already, so.
Hell yeah. And yeah, mark potential clear condition, but you don't have any conditions, so cool. Finally, 0G, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I think I'm likewise going to grow closer to the team, and reciprocating that. I think it's going to be towards Kasey, as we kind of had the most connection between, in that scene we had. So I think that's I will give Kasey influence over me. And I will mark a potential, which is depressingly almost hitting my first advance.
That's some. How did Okay. All right. Okay. Sure. Things happen. God. All right. Cool. Thanks very much, folks. I always like to say this on the broadcast that these players, again, just like that they just keep throwing everything at me, and I just keep throwing stuff back at them. It's just a war. It's like a snowball fight, except there's 4 of them and only 1 of me. But I had time to prep, so I had more scope. This metaphor is getting away from me. I'm going to stop this broadcast. Thanks very much, folks, for watching. Thanks again, my players, for playing, because they're great players. All that fun stuff. Cool. End broadcast.